All right. What's up, Speaker Coach friends? I am so excited to introduce you to my guest today, Cornelia Kawann. And she says that energy management is the new time management. And I just love that phrase so much. And I'm so excited to get into what all that means, because we as coaches, speakers, entrepreneurs, parents, children of aging parents, there's so many different roles that we play. And we need energy more than ever. Plus, we live in a world that's just faster, 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 get stuff done. We're just obsessed with getting stuff done. So I'm just really excited to dive into her approach today and figure out how it can help you to have more energy. And I don't even know all the things she's going to tell us. I didn't ask you any questions because I'm like, I want to discover it with everyone.
Yeah, let's dive in.
Welcome, Cornelia.
Thank you so much for having me, Michelle. And it was such a pleasure being here. I'm excited, full of energy.
Good, good, good. And tell us, where do you live at right now? I see your gorgeous plants in the background.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I'm in Europe, in Zurich.
Oh, very nice. So
yes, all the way across the Atlantic, right?
Yes, which is great because we get to come on here, and no matter where we are, we can hang out with each other, which is very, very cool for our century. So tell us a little bit more about energy management. How did you originally get into that, and why are you so passionate about this topic?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. How much time do we have now? No, just kidding.
Whole life story.
No, I make it short. From my background, I'm an electrical engineer, which might sound boring. And actually, I was always fascinated how this power comes into the socket, especially when I was a kid. And I really wanted to know how, all these mixers and vacuum cleaners work. And that's why I actually studied electrical engineering. And I can tell you, now I do know how electricity gets into the socket. And so for a very long time, that's another story, right? But for a very long time, energy was only electric energy for me. And then something happens, life just happens. It was kind of, as you can imagine, it's a very male-dominated industry. And you always, have to, as a woman, you always have to prove, better, smarter, faster. So there's a lot of pressure and competition. And so I got sick. And the outline, the traditional medicine, gave to me, I just knew I can't do that. There was so much resistance in me. But as an engineer, I know there is always more than one solution to a problem. So I just started looking for other solutions. So what I discovered is the quantum science, right? And you may say, oh, wow, that's it, right? It's so boring, but actually it's so fascinating because what does it say? Quantum science in a way just says everything is just energy. So, the computer here and our phones, our bodies, in a nutshell, everything is just energy. And this resonated so much with me because as an electrical engineer, I know what energy is. I know what a frequency is. So I started looking at, my whole beliefs and everything as it's just a frequency, or even a virus, it's just a frequency. So and if it's just a frequency, it's so much easier to deal with it. And also like emotions, it's a frequency, it has a certain energy. But if I don't want to have it, I can remove this energy. So it felt very empowering to me to look at everything in my life with the perspective, it's just energy. And then I started managing these energies. And so I really have to say I kind of experimented with myself and noticed that there are so many similarities between electric energy and our personal energy. So I started using my expertise from electric engineering in my personal experiments. And I thought, we are all kind of, when it's empty, we just plug it in and recharge it. And I thought, maybe must be, well, why can't we just recharge our own energy, right? So that's how I in a way got started. And actually, yeah, there are so many easy ways how you can recharge your energy. And that's actually what I'm, as you pointed out, I'm showing, especially women, because they're so busy, how they have all the energy to live their life, their busy life.
Wow, this is fascinating actually, because I think whenever I've heard people talk about energy before, it's usually from the spiritual woo-woo side that people kind of come into it from, where they're like, oh, flow and yoga, and I don't know, that's where I kind of, and maybe there's what is it? Astrology, things like that, where I'm hearing people kind of understand and or monitor the flow of your energy and just kind of be in flow. We hear that a lot, but you're coming at it from a completely different angle. And so I'm actually curious to dive into that a little bit more in terms of like, what did you see? I hear what you're saying, that everything is energy. And what did you see? I have like so many questions that in terms of correlations. I'm curious to hear about correlations, but I think the first question I want to ask is, you mentioned being sick, for example, and this illness or this virus has a frequency. And what kind of things do you see or results do you see that you're getting for your clients whenever you do this work with them? Like, before you tell us all the how, I'm just curious how it really applies.
Mm-hmm. Before I go into the how, especially what you're saying, that is kind of, there's always this spiritual touch to energy. And I think this is nothing bad, because we have different layers of energy, and there's also a spiritual layer. But for me, it's just pure physics, or even some part of biology. And if you think about it, going back to your biology class, maybe you remember,
Okay.
you maybe had like the cell, and maybe you remember that between the cell nucleus and the cell membrane there needs to be a voltage, and it's exactly minus 70 millivolt when it's really healthy cell. When it's a cancer cell, it only has minus 10. It can't hold the tension. That's why it's taking off so much energy from your body, and that's why we're getting sick. So we are having millivolt in our body. And our brain, it's a genius, right? What it's all organizing. But how is the brain communicating with our fingers, with our organs? How is everything managed? In a way, it's with our nervous system. And what's our nervous system? It's milliampere running through our body. So just looking at your phone, we know that we don't know the details how it works. We don't care, right? It's just a phone, but it has a chip in there. It has millivolt and it has milliampere. Otherwise, it wouldn't work, and otherwise we couldn't recharge it. But it also has, because of the millivolt and milliampere, an electromagnetic field around it. And some people are even sensitive to it, and they try to protect it from this electromagnetic field. So if physics says there is an electromagnetic field around it, we all believe it, right? Because we were taught in physics. So if I'm telling you we have milliampere and millivolt in our body, why the heck does nobody believe that we are having an electromagnetic field around us as well? It's just logic, right? And that's what I don't understand, why this is always seen as like this woo-woo. It's just pure physics. We have this field. And I agree, we don't see it. Most people don't see it. And we can't touch it in a way. But what we all can, we can feel it. And we also feel energies from other people when they enter the room, or so, or you feel some weird things when somebody's standing you. We feel other people's energy. We just kind of don't know how to handle it because we were never taught it, and we forget about it. But that's so the how is, in a way, we having this electromagnetic field around it. And the beauty of it is that all information that concerns you is stored in your electromagnetic field, in your energy body. So what I do is, and here quantum science comes in, is that we are all having this electromagnetic field, and we are all connected via the quantum field, which means I can now connect via the quantum field with your energy, and I could read out information out of your energy as if I would be sitting right next to you. Energetically, I'm sitting next to you. And but I don't need to be there because I can connect to anybody, whoever they are. And then, you come with a problem, and all the answers to this problem are in your energy. And I just need to kind of connect with your energy. And then sometimes it's difficult, what I'm working on. Most of the time I get answers how to deal with it. And my goal is always to really find the root cause of the problem. And this can be sometimes several layers. It depends. Sometimes only one layer, sometimes takes longer. But once you've found the root cause and healed it, everything associated with it is gone.
Wow, that's fascinating. So, okay, I actually just met with a doctor, and he had this voice wave technology that sounds kind of similar, where it was understanding everything about you from your voice. You only talked for 15 seconds, and then it was just reading all these things inside of your body, I imagine, because the energetic waves that you're creating out there. And so it makes so much sense to me that we can map things out, but based on all these different things. So for your clients, what are some of the results that they're seeing? So you're saying you can touch in or tap into their magnetic field and their energy field. And there's things that you can shift, which we can get into in a second. But is it primarily health? Is it emotional? What kind of things are you applying this to?
It's completely, in my model, as I said, we don't only have one energy. So in my model, we are having 5 layers. So we have the physical energy. And this is, of course, the most fundamental one, because if we don't feel physically well, then it's difficult to feel well in general. And then we have the energetic energy and the emotional energy, where all the emotions are stored, and the mental energy, where we have all the beliefs and thoughts and so on. And then we have the spiritual energy. And the spiritual energy for me is actually the most essential one. And why is that? Because the spiritual energy for me is your why, your purpose, why you're here, why are you doing or what you're doing. And if you're doing what really makes your heart sing, you kind of generating intrinsically so much energy because you're really enjoying what you're doing. You're kind of your own power plant. And that's kind of the best thing that even can happen, and that's why I think it's so important. And so many people are not enjoying and loving what they are doing. And so they're losing a lot of potential here. But if you really have somebody who has a vision, who is into it, you will never ever notice that this person has not enough energy because you're generating it yourself.
Very, very cool. And, before we jumped on, we were talking about my painting back here. I find that very interesting that you asked about it, because we were talking about how it was in one of my dreams, and there was actually like power cords going through the trunk of this tree and just tapping into the energy. So tell us about what you said. Energy management is the new time management. Why do you say that?
Before I answer this question, I just remembered that I didn't answer your previous question, and I said, with which my clients are coming. I can give you one because, burnout. This one is, it's an illness that more and more women are, tackled by, because, as we spoke, they have so many applications. And I had like one client, and we had a session, and she was kind of on the verge of her third burnout. She really looked exhausted. And then how I work is, actually, I'm not even working on the energy of that person. I'm kind of connecting with the energy and then downloading what needs to be done. And then I'm telling and because it's all about empowerment, and then I'm telling the person what they need to do, in a way, let go, heal, forgive. There are different ways. Sometimes it's in the ancestor line, or in a child world. So I get the information what needs to be done on different levels, and when all the levels, sometimes it's easy and you can do it in one session, and sometimes it takes longer. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody's unique. And with this lady, we really were quite successful. So we worked for 1 hour. It was mainly in her ancestor line and some inner child work. And then after an hour, I looked at her in the Zoom call, and there was a completely different person sitting opposite to me, or on the screen. And she looked at herself, and I said, wow. Because while I was giving her instructions, she thought, oh, there are so many wrinkles, I look so exhausted. And now she thought she was looking completely different. And for her, it was really it was not even a limiting belief, but it was such a driver, like an automatic program that was set up, and it was so strong. And she just said, it was, if I'm not working hard, I think I'm not loved. That was her driver. And that's why she was continuously working, right? And she even felt bad when she was not sitting at her PC. And of course, her husband, her kids said, you need to stop working, but she couldn't, right? And that's the thing people want to do, but you can't, because this program was so strong and overruling it. And actually, this was exactly 2 years ago, so it was before Christmas. And then she wrote me after Christmas a message. You know what I did after our session? I closed the laptop and I went for a walk I haven't done for ages, and I felt good about it. And then there was this beautiful Christmas time I really could enjoy with my family. And I even lost 2 kilos, right?
Oh my goodness, yes, I can feel it. Well, and that's so fascinating. That's so exciting for her too. And I felt it, like you're saying, I think we've all kind of worked with the energetics, but we just don't understand it on the level that you do. But yeah, when a limiting belief breaks, or when you're able to receive some healing or something, yeah, there's this weight that lifts. It manifests in your life in so many ways, including, yeah, the weight loss and how you're looking. And what a gift to her to just be able to, like, I'm imagining all the people watching, and that there are so many people that have that same problem. I'm myself included, a very similar driver of, yeah, they're not gonna love me, or maybe they're gonna leave if I don't keep working, or like prove myself somehow or something. I think that's a very common one that people have.
Not good enough. I had it as well. Sometimes still pops up. So I think it's so normal. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And to just be able to, like, sit and breathe and relax. And that's so amazing. And what do you find whenever I've been working on all of your methods? Man, I wish we could be on here for like an hour. I just want to kind of like understand what your method is as well. Because just like in general, I've been leaning more into, okay, what's my thing? What lights me up? And let me try that, even if it's not 100% logical. Even if somebody else says, this is what you should be doing in your business right now. Like this week, because of hormones, I was just energetically low, and I had this event coming up last night, and I felt like, oh, I should be posting, and I should be reaching out, and I should be doing all of these things in order to get people to come to the event. But I just didn't have the energy to do it. And whenever I just sat and like listened to myself and did my thing, it was just like, just take a nap. Like that was like everything every day. I was
like, very brave, because most wouldn't do it. And yeah, and then and even I always say, taking a break and then continue, you have a completely different energy, and you're faster afterwards, more concentrated, much more efficient, higher productivity.
Oh, absolutely. And I took a nap, and then I went and served at church. They were doing something that I had signed up to help with, and I was just hanging out with friends. And then, yeah, right before bed, like all the things that I wanted to know and understand about my event, they just came to me. And it was so beautiful. But it's such a process to trust that, and to trust that is going to work, rather than, I think, especially in the man's world, it's such a linear world. It's such a, no offense, men, but like our world these days, you know, it's just so linear. And this is what, in order to be successful, you do these exact same things every single day. And if you don't do them consistently every single day, you're not going to be successful. You're not going to produce. People are going to leave you. I mean, I don't know. All of these things. Are you finding? I'm just going on and on. What sort of things do you run into? What are some common things that people run into whenever?
Why you just because you just mentioned that with this male energy and female energy, and actually we all have both. It's this yin yang. So we have male energy and we have female energy, and with man it's the same. And what I fully agree with you. I've been very long and still are in this man-dominated world, and I agree with you that you kind of tend to live more your male energy, and I think in some ways it's not bad at all, right? Because what's male energy? It's get things done. You have this certain drive, you make decisions. So if you really want to run your own business, you need to use your male energy for certain things. But, and this is so important, then you need to switch. And that's what I'm also teaching, that you can deliberately choose, okay, now I'm in my female energy. And then when you're creative, you're writing posts, or you're with your kids or with your family, right? And then you allow yourself to live both, and you decide which one to use. And I think this is so powerful.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. That's so beautiful. And so tell us a little bit more about your process, because I kept cutting you off. How exactly do you, when you work with people, what exactly do? You said you tap into their energy somehow. Could you explain it a little bit more to us?
Yeah. And here I have to tell you, it sounds now, I was not born, I think, no, I have to phrase it in a different way. I think we are energy beings, right? So in a way, it's completely natural to us to manage our energy, to feel energy, and to work with our energy. We just kind of forgot about it. It's the same with me. I'm a scientist, right? So for me, like everything like this, it was so far-fetched, right? And I can understand people that they think, no, it's nonsense, or because I was the same. And but and I didn't have any special skills. That's what I wanted to point out. But now, and I trained that in a way because I saw it, but somebody was doing it and thought, I want to do this as well, right? And so I started practicing. And in a way, I figured out, yeah, I can connect. Of course, you're only allowed to connect with an energy from a different person if you have the permission. So there are also some ethic rules. And then you can just I can sometimes, it depends on, I can feel the emotions that are the person is feeling at the moment. Or sometimes, and then we can work on that. Or if they come with a certain problem, then I just I get a download. I'm connecting with the energy, and all of a sudden I get information what needs to be done. It's very difficult to explain, but I hadn't had this skill before, and so I just trained it myself. And the funny thing is, I was with a fellow author in a call. We just were in a book campaign, and then we thought we're having a call, and she in a way asked me the same question. How did you get started, and can you? And then she asked, yeah, can you connect with my energy? And so what do you get? And I thought, are you really sure? You really want to know?
Do you want to tell us, everybody? Yes, yeah.
And then she said, yes, I want to know. And actually, it was kind of a very sad story. And, I haven't known her at all. I didn't have any information about her. And then when I connected with her energy, I felt such a deep sadness. So I really started to cry because it was so strong. And then I got the information where the sadness came from. And it was actually when she was still in the belly of her mom. And then And then I noticed, and it was so strange. I didn't, because it's a very sensitive topic, right? And then I said, do you really want what I get? And she said, yes, be brave. Tell me I'm brave as well. And so I felt a little bit insecure because it's very personal. And I said, what I get is that you had a twin and it died while you were still in the belly. And it was your brother. And she said, yes, it's right. And I was
Yeah.
kind of, oh, wow. And there was still this, and then we figured out in a way that the whole life she felt in a way so bad that she survived and her brother didn't. So in a
Aw.
way, she lived the life of her brother. She didn't even live her own life, right? And the soul of her brother was still there. And she said she worked so many years on this, right? And I I didn't even know her, and I got the information like in 5 minutes. And then I guided her through a process that she could, thank her brother and let him go. And then she was a completely different person. And she said now she felt so much her, and now that she can live her life, right? And I thought, wow, what a beautiful gift, right?
Oh, wow. That's an amazing story. And so interesting too. I think that we have so many things. A lot of people talk about childhood trauma or there's adult trauma. But there's so many different
Mm-hmm.
ways that these energy issues, I don't know what you call them, can come up in our life. Like you said, she was in the womb still, or like before you'd mentioned ancestral energies that get passed down. And just, I think it's absolutely fascinating. So we could go on and on. I have like so many
Yes, so true. I have
questions.
a
Thank
lot
you
of
so much
stories.
for coming on. And what you do is just fascinating, and you really have a gift. And I love that you said too, it's a skill that you were able to develop and grow this way that you connect with people and their energy. And it's amazing. So tell us, you have a book and you have a let me see, I have here the energetic stress management ebook. Is that right?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
then you
and
have a book.
yeah,
Sorry. Tell us about
exactly.
this one. Tell us about, how can we find you? What can we, like, if we're obsessed with this, like I am, where I just want to talk to you for hours and hours, how can we learn more about all this?
Yeah, you see, I'm not even so well prepared. My book is over there, so I can just run over.
Go ahead, no problem.
So yeah, that's it. And I just love it. It's change your energy, change your life, right? And it was actually on Amazon.com when I launched. It was number one, and
Wow. Yeah, so this one
and
right
but
here.
and if people are really fascinated in what I'm doing, you know, for me it's actually all about empowerment, and I'm really teaching especially women. I have like a 4 months mastermind. It started today for the next 4 months. And where I teach them that they can do the same, right? And so that they can connect with their energy, they can get this information and they can start using it on their own. But then you can also use it for your kids, right? And you can use it for work. It's so powerful, right? If you know how it works, it's not only about health issues. You can also energetic communication, you can use it in your business, and because your energy is your business card, people just feel it, and you always have it with you. And so if somebody is interested, I can work with you one to one. You can read the book there. The whole process is actually described in here. And there are also 77 energy exercises, how you can recharge your energy, how you can protect your energy, you can set energetic boundaries, how you can clean your energy. So there are tons of really very quick exercises, because I'm a busy mom. And so none of the exercises takes longer than 3 minutes. And I think we all have 3 minutes, right?
Yes. Oh, that's so fascinating. Thank you again so much for coming. And for sharing all of this information. I can see my mind's just going all over the place about all the different things that it probably does and helps you do. And I'm really interested in looking at your book. So thank you again so much for coming. Are there any last words that you would like to share with everybody before we go?
Pardon me?
Sorry, is there anything else that you'd like to share with everyone before we go?
Yes, there is one message I would really like to pass on. Your energy is your most valuable currency because you trade it against every thought, everything what you're doing. So be wise how you use your energy.
Yes, I love that. Thank you again so much.